I want you, I want you to know, and everybody else in this space to know, that I believe that Black Lives Matter because you are brilliant. You are brilliant. Black people are amazing, brilliant, creative, awesome, compassionate, wise, communal. And I appreciate everything that being Black has taught me, the culture that I've grown up in, the community that has nurtured me. There's been nothing that I've appreciated more deeply than being Black and having a community of Black people continually let me know that my life mattered. And I want to give that back to you. I want you to know that your life matters. You are somebody. I don't care what anybody says. Don't you ever let somebody tell you that you're not great and awesome and wonderfully and fearfully made in the image and likeness of God like every other human being that God has created. And I want you to live big. I want you to do great things for God. Don't back up. Don't live small, right? Because you're reducing yourself is not helping the world. I want you to do it big and do it better and do it often. Can you do that for me? You may be seated. I want you to know that we have over and to my left, we have free turkey burgers and bottled water. We want you to help yourself. You have to go right on over. Mercy. I might need a technician up here. Go right over and get yourself some bottled water and a turkey burger. There's some free clothing here, giveaways. We have with us Maureen Marlowe, who runs our mental health center. One of the things about the experiences of oppression and racism is that the inequity of it is really killing us, y'all. It's killing us, right? Because chronic experiences of racism raises chronic levels of stress hormones. And if you live with those stress hormones long enough, which many people of color, most do with these experiences of racism, what it does is it alters your immune system and it makes you more prone to disease, makes you more prone to things like anxiety and depression and high blood pressure, right? And diabetes and asthma and all kinds of physiological diseases. And so this inequity that keeps happening among us is really making us sick. And so we need to take care of ourselves. A lot of time we have stigma around people who are struggling with mental health disease and mental illness. A lot of the mental illness is connected directly to the experiences of racism and oppression. So we don't need to feel bad about those feelings. We don't need to feel bad about being depressed and having anxiety and feeling paranoid. We need to take care of ourselves. Take care of ourselves. And so we have, amen, it's self-care. And so I want you to make sure you stop by the table over here. Talk to Maureen Marlowe about our mental health center. And if you have family members that are struggling, don't tease them, don't pick on them, don't tell them to get themselves together. This experience of racism has real impact on us, real impact on our bodies, on our spirits, and on our lives. And we need to take care of ourselves. If you need some chairs, you know what, sweetie, you can just take all of those down. I'm sorry. If you need chairs, come on up and get yourself a chair. How many of you are out here from an organization that's been working to end racism and oppression? Organization, keep your hands up. Where are you from?
Rochester Coalition, Family Friends of Murdered Victims.
Rochester Coalition, Family Friends of Murdered Children. You see a lot of experiences, right, around Black lives and how they need to matter more. I want you to come on up here and talk to us. Come on, put your hands together. We are losing Black lives daily. And And these folks are on the front lines with families. This is Reverend Brown from Holy Trinity Baptist Church. All right, put your hands together for him.
Praise the Lord. We first want to give honor to God, who is the head of my life. We first want to give honor to God, who is the head of my life, to my pastor, Emmett L. Myrick Jr. of Holy Trinity Missionary Baptist Church. I stand here to represent the Rochester Coalition of Family Friends of Murdered Children and Victims of Violence, which was founded by Audrey Smith in 1991 after her son was murdered violently. You know, sometimes we have to not wait until we have a loved one that's murdered before we take this walk together to end violence. You know, I hear, you know, we always say, you know, Black Lives Matter, but I tell you, I stand here to tell you, all lives matter. You know, Jesus died so we can live. You know, so we need to fight against violence. You know, and I've been through what a lot of people been through, or what they are going through. You know, I try to show up at every visual, at every funeral. I try to speak out against violence because I was a victim of violence when my nephew Tashawn Williams was gunned down in his own home protecting his grandmother. You know, and the sad thing about it, he was coming from church. You know, so the violence out here is just pitiful. You know, and we need to stand strong and fight against it. You know, a lot of people look at me and say, aren't you afraid? Aren't you scared? You may get shot while you're out there fighting against this violence. But I tell you, the 23rd Psalm always tell me, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadows of death, I will fear no evil, because I know the Lord is with me. You know, and sometimes we go through things in life, in the valley of the shadows of death are those storms that we may go through that God take us through. Sometimes we go through storms that we have to go through to get on the other side, to open up our eyes for what God has in store for us. Everybody out here has a gift. Everybody has a gift. Your gift may not be mine. You may have a strong gift. We just have to determine what gift God has gave us. And we need to take that and go and run with it to the fullest. But we all need to fight against violence. We need to stand strong. All these organizations here in Rochester need to come together and collaborate together and fight against violence. And I need to say this, there's no big I's or little U's. We all stand for the same thing, fighting against violence. You know, and a lot of times, when we say the Black Lives Matter, it's always, most of the time, the blacks are killing the blacks. You know, and if God can change me from the man that I was to the man that I am now, I know he can change you. You know, and I go out every other first Sunday and visit the jail. And one of my things is to them, where you sit, I once sat. And if God can remove me from that seat, he can remove you. So it's all in our minds. We need to try to work together, fight together, fight against this violence. Amen. We need to first believe. But we need to come together and fight against it and stop letting certain homicides in the city that draw the news for you to come out and stand strong against violence. I don't care if it's one or two persons. If they call me, I'm coming out. And I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. They said, for God I live and for God I die. Thank you.